Now to bring on our guest for today, she's, what can I say, one of the most well-liked individuals on the WTA Tour. And she's also a quarterfinalist at the French Open. And all I can say is whenever any of us are around her, it certainly brings a smile to our face with her energy, which is also something I want to get into because I think it allows her to have a lot of success on the court as well. So without further ado, can I please welcome Miss Shelby Rogers?
Hi, Prakash. How are you? Tennis is unique in that regard, where there's not one pinpoint textbook plan.
Yep.
There's so many roads to take, so many routes to get to where you want to be within the sport. And I think that's a good thing about the sport as well, is you can kind of customize it to your own needs.
Let's take juniors for you first. To make that hump from being a successful junior, but then all of a sudden winning the biggest title out there, was it you started hitting the ball bigger or just a bit more consistent? What was that improvement for you?
I don't think it was ever my game, my technique. I worked a lot on, I always, worked on the strategies and things like that. It was, believe it or not, it was my attitude. I actually struggled a little bit with my emotions as a young child.
Did we have a temper, Shelby?
Yeah. So,
Wow.
well, yes and no. So I would get so emotional and so worked up if I was losing to someone I shouldn't be, or if I did something that
Sure,
I didn't want to
sure.
do. And I would cry a lot. I would actually
Yeah.
cry on court and kind of, yeah, throw a little temper tantrum. So, and it's funny because I think you see a lot of, I mean, even Roger Federer, right, as a junior
Yep.
had a super bad temper, breaking
Yep.
rackets left and right. But yeah, I would kind of pout and like cry. So I think a little attitude adjustment helped me the most in juniors, coming, from the state tournaments into the Southerns
Wow.
and nationals. Just being more focused and under control with my thoughts and emotions. That was a big jump. And then from then juniors to the pros, it was getting a little bit more fit for me at the time. I never really put an emphasis on the physical conditioning.
Yep.
So then I gained some endurance and a little bit of strength, and was able to, so I could always hit the ball really big. My timing was great. Not to like be, arrogant, but
No, 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 of course.
the racket skills weren't the issue for me. It was, the attitude, the mental skills, and the physical conditioning. I mean, how many times do you hear that, people give up right before they're about to have that breakthrough? And resilience is such an important characteristic, and I think I've had a few moments in my career that really prove that to be true. Yeah, journaling is huge for me. A little bit of mindfulness, just being able to be aware of those thoughts that come in, because that's the first step of fixing anything, is being aware of the issue. And that was huge for me, because I would, like I mentioned before, I get so emotional and I have so many things going on up here at one time, that you have to be able to identify them, be aware of them, and then create space from them so you don't get so worked up. And that has been huge for me, just separating the thoughts from the emotions and not having this just big jumble up there. Because I mean, like you mentioned, how many matches do you watch where, okay, here's 5-all or in the tiebreaker, and you can just clearly see one person kind of go away for a second?
Yep.
I mean, a
Yep.
lot of matches are won and lost by 1, 2, 3 points, and that could make or break someone's career. So it's really the fine details. And but like I said, those thoughts and identifying them, creating space, and being able to just let them go has helped me huge. It's been huge for me. Another point I want to make is that I did always show up for practice, and I always wanted to do a little bit extra. I wanted to get that little bit of edge, and I think that can really separate you from a lot of other players when, you just want to do a little bit more, and
Yep.
just fight a little extra. So yeah.
Sign of a champion in any field.